Hello everyone, this is Alan. I'm one of the lead designers with Mirrors Gaming and Other Fantasy, and today I'm going to teach you how to play the game. So what you want to start the game with is, of course, your deck of cards. It's going to be 40 to 50 cards. You also need a way to keep track of stars, which is how we pay for playing our cards. And you also want a way to keep track of damage on what are your stocks. So each player begins the game with 4 stocks. It is a 2-player game. It is turn-based. And yeah, that's what you need to know. So first, shuffle up your cards, give your opponent a chance to cut your deck. We're going to pretend that was already done. And then normally we would roll to see who goes first. It's going to pretend that I won the roll. So the first thing you do when you start your turn, of course, is you get your stars. So every turn you're going to have 5 stars. So there's my stars. And now you're going to draw your 5 cards. Your opponent also starts with 5 cards. You get to look at these. Normally you can do what's called a mulligan. So any cards you don't like, you can put on the bottom of your deck and draw the same. Make sure your opponent doesn't see the cards you got, of course. So I'm going to keep this one, this one, this one, and this one. I'll just put one on the bottom for now and draw 1 new card, just like that. So I'm looking over my cards here. So the way you pay for cards, as you can see, this is what's called a creature. This is a non-support creature, and the way those work is they have a cost printed right here, and that tells you how many stars you need to play them. So I'm going to put this card here. I can add up to 4 of these at a time. So there we go, 2 stars left. And now I'm going to play another creature, which is also 2 stars. Put it here. So this creature has on some effect. I'm going to do that now. Look at some cards. I'll reveal this card, put it in my hand, put these on the bottom. Okay, so now I'm all out of stars, and I can't attack this turn because it's the very first turn of the game. So I'm going to pass my turn to my opponent. Now let's assume they did some damage to me this turn. Let's assume they did 2 damage to me some way. So each stock can take up to 5 damage. Whenever you lose a stock, you have to flip it face down like this, for example, but usually you would flip the one that took damage. And once that happens to you 4 times, you lose the game. So let's go back to my new turn. Of course, I go back to 5 stars. You always go back to 5. If you had a leftover star, you don't get to keep that. You just get 5. So I'm going to draw my card. And you know what? This turn I'm going to play what's called a spell card. So a spell card is blue, and these go directly to the graveyard as soon as they get played. So anything that dies would normally go to the graveyard or spills. So that one costs me 5 stars. So let's do that. You can only play 1 spell card per turn, but sometimes that's okay because they have a high cost anyways. And now I can go to combat because my creature's been on the field for at least 1 turn. So the way creature combat works is this number here is how much damage it does to a stock, while this number here is how much it does to a creature. So the way you attack with a creature is you turn it sideways. I'm going to say I'm going to attack my opponent. So let's pretend this is my opponent's damage. I'll just keep it over here so we remember that I did 3 damage to him. And now I'm going to go to the end of my turn, let my opponent get their chance. Let's say I got another 2 damage on their turn, for example. Then go to my next turn, do the same thing again. Now I'm going to play some more creatures here. And as you can see, I've spent 2 and 1. So now I still have 2 stars left because that was 3. I can attack again. So let's assume that my opponent did not do anything and they lost their stock this turn. Just like that. So what happens now is that whenever you lose a stock, you cannot keep attacking that player that lost the stock, and the combat will end. Same thing if it happens to you. That way you can't just keep losing stock after stock after stock in 1 turn if your opponent has a lot of creatures. And there is one more thing. Let's say I passed to my opponent and then they attacked and I lost my stock. It went to my turn again. I draw a card, and look, this is what I'm talking about. These are the bound creatures. So bound creatures, they are special. Let's get one of these off the field here just for the example. In that, you need to use one of your lost stocks to help play them. So I got my 5 stars. This bound creature costs a lost stock and a star. So let's do that. And bam. Just like that, I got one of my very special bound creatures. You can only have the 3 in your deck, so make good use of them. There's only one more card we have to talk about today that I didn't draw, which is support creatures, which are very similar to regular creatures in that they have a type just like your creatures, but they have no stats to fight with it. And those go back here where it says support creature. You can have up to 4 of these and up to 4 of these. So what's going to happen in your game is you're going to keep fighting your opponent. Stocks will get traded. People will lose. When you lose all your stocks, that's when you lose the game. So make sure to get rid of all your opponent's stocks before they get rid of yours. And that's everything you need to know how to play. You can purchase the game in the description below if you're ready. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.